an expansionist and the aggressor during the Galwan standoff for 4 long years. Then saying it wants to be a friend and opening the Kailash Mansarovar route and de-escalating on the border. And now siding with Pakistan and trying to whitewash the Pahalgam terror attack.
SCO members must condemn this evil unequivocally.
Well, that is China, the dragon that clearly cannot be trusted.
On 22nd April 2025, the terror group carried out a dastardly and heinous attack. 26 innocent civilians, including a Nepali national, were killed. India on 7th May 2025 successfully launched Operation Sindoor to dismantle cross-border terrorist infrastructure. Some countries use cross-border terrorism as an instrument of policy and provide shelter to terrorists. There should be no place for such double standards. SCO should not hesitate to criticize such nations.
Hello viewers, welcome to Homework. This is your host Aman Sharma, and today we are diving into a brewing storm between India, China and Pakistan. One that has unfolded not on the battlefield but at a conference table in China. In a diplomatic standoff, India refused to sign a key statement at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization or the SCO. And the reason? Terrorism and China's silent support for Pakistan. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh held talks with the Chinese Defence Minister Admiral Dong Jun later at the SCO summit, and his message was very clear. India welcomes the resumption of the Kailash Mansarovar Yatra, but Mr. Singh also had a piece of advice for China. Sustain positive momentum and don't add new complexities in the relationship. India also pressed for permanent de-escalation on the border and a permanent solution of the border demarcation. Do you think India did the right thing by refusing to sign the joint statement? Should India trust China in all such alliances? The Galwan clash in 2020 still evokes strong emotions. The underlying message is, don't trust the dragon, at least not blindly. India stunned the world by refusing to sign the major diplomatic statement at the SCO summit in China. And why? Because it exposed a clear pro-Pakistan, anti-India agenda, backed by none other than China itself. At the SCO meeting on June 26th, member states were set to issue a joint communique, a routine tradition. But India, represented by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, refused to sign it because the statement completely ignored the brutal Pahalgam terror attack in Jammu and Kashmir, where 26 innocent tourists were killed. The SCO statement omitted any mention of the Pahalgam terror attack but referenced unrest in Baluchistan, subtly accusing India of interference. China and Pakistan, using the SCO platform, were trying to undermine Operation Sindoor, India's strike on terror camps, by shifting focus to Baluchistan and painting it as a victim of foreign sabotage. The aim was to reclaim victimhood and justify crackdowns in the region. India's refusal to sign this derailed this narrative. One must remember, unlike Quad and BRICS, SCO is a bloc that India doesn't fully trust. China has clearly fallen for Pakistan's double game. With its $62 billion CPEC project threatened by the Baluch insurgency, Beijing is trying to globalize the Baluchistan as a conflict zone. Pakistan, under fire after the Pahalgam attack, is using the SCO to deflect attention from its terror networks and India's Operation Sindoor, aiming for a diplomatic cover-up. But Rajnath Singh didn't mince words. He called out the double standards and demanded that SCO take a zero-tolerance approach to terrorism. To quote him, terrorism in all its forms and manifestations, including cross-border terrorism, must be condemned univocally. A clear swipe at Pakistan. And when China and Pakistan tried to water down the language, India walked out. No compromises. China's Defence Ministry spokesperson stated that the SCO meeting achieved successful results but provided no further detail on the absence of a joint statement. India said it wanted concerns and terrorism reflected in the document, which was not acceptable to one particular country, and that is Pakistan. Here's the twist. It wasn't just Pakistan softening the anti-terror stance. It was China who backed Pakistan again. Well, this isn't the first time that China has shielded Pakistan diplomatically, from blocking the listing of terrorists at the UN to now avoiding mention of a massacre that shocked the nation. China's pattern is clear. Remember how China blocked Masood Azhar's terror designation in the US? Pakistan, in fact, used an array of Chinese-made weapons during the conflict with India in May, including the J-10 fighters. China now has promised to supply Pakistan with 40 more J-35A jets and long-range air defense systems. The SCO is meant to be a regional cooperation body, but India sees it now as turning into a pro-China, pro-Pakistan club. Just last week, India also distanced itself from SCO statement on Israel-Iran tensions. Delhi's message: we don't rubber stamp what Beijing and Islamabad want. India is asserting strategic autonomy, choosing when to engage and when to walk away. Make no mistake, this is more than just a document. It's a reflection of how cold and transactional India-China ties have become. Even as they talk about trade and border de-escalation, the trust deficit runs deep. Chinese Vice Foreign Minister Sun Weidong was in New Delhi earlier this month and finalized agreements with India to resume direct flights and hold functional talks on trade and rare earths, part of efforts to stabilize the economic relations. But with China continuing to shield Pakistan even in the face of terror, don't expect any hugs soon. India has taken note of Pakistan Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar's 3-day visit to China from May 19th to May 21st, shortly after Operation Sindoor. In talks with Wang Yi, the focus was on strengthening ties, boosting multilateral coordination, and extending CPEC into Afghanistan under the BMI framework. Clearly, Pakistan and China are working closely. India is playing a careful game. It hasn't quit the SCO, but it's drawing clear red lines. Either address India's security concerns or expect pushback. In another diplomatic theater, the BRICS, China is showing its colors too. Chinese President Xi Jinping has dropped out of attending the BRICS summit in Brazil in July, apparently because Brazil has invited PM Modi for a state dinner. Xi Jinping thought he would be upstaged by Modi and the optics would mean Xi looking like supporting actor and not the central player. Well, Mr. Modi is increasingly seen as the central figure at global forums, with a state dinner invite on Lula's home turf reinforcing that image. In today's era of optics and alliances, visibility, handshakes, keynotes and toasts matters as much as diplomacy. Meanwhile, Modi-Xi ties remain strained since the 2020 border clashes, despite a meeting in October 2024. Later this year in August, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is expected to visit China for the annual SCO summit. So what do you think? Did India do the right thing by standing up to China and Pakistan at the SCO? Should Narendra Modi now go for the SCO summit in Beijing later this year? Tell us in the comments, should India stay in the SCO at all? Or is it time to call it quits? Thanks for joining me on Homework. I will be back next week.